solving problems from Codeforces. I might accept some suggestions from the chat. I'm not sure yet what exactly problems I will solve. I said somewhere that it will be Division 1C, around that difficulty. You can watch this stream on YouTube, on Twitch, and later after the stream it will be, as always, available for some time. I think it's 2 weeks on Twitch, and forever, I hope, on YouTube. What contests were there recently? Maybe I should find a contest prepared by somebody high rated. 300 IQ. Maybe this one. Let's see if it was well received. 612. I will take a quick look if everything is okay with the stream. Oh, I don't want to see editorial. It's 609 or 12? Why is there editorial for 612 on 300 IQ's channel if he isn't in creators? 609. Based on bideness. Oh, I don't know if I like that. This means problems weren't created for Codeforces, they were created for some ICPC contest. What other contests are there recently? I don't like global rounds. This is also based on something else. Are there any Division 2? Are there any standard rounds created by people high-rated Division 1 people? Maybe it's not so common. I need to make one. Sir, solve AdCoder's problem. I will solve Codeforces problems today. So let's try something by 300 IQ. This looks like right difficulty. I will take suggestions for Codeforces problems, but that's it. I don't want to diverge. I don't remember what. I don't want to change the topic. Depart. Too much. Okay, integers. You're given a permutation. In one move you can swap two adjacent values. Perform any minimum number of moves such that in the end there will exist a subsegment. Okay. Given this permutation, I want to know how quickly I can make 1, 2, 3 happen in this order. Yeah, I will solve this one. And in settings, somewhere in settings I need to turn off tags, because on the right I already saw tags. One moment. Settings. Show tags for unsolved problem. Unmark. Yeah, now I don't see them. I will paste a link in the chat. Then I will quickly announce there that the stream is live. Problems live. Okay, done on Discord. I guess that's enough. Is this a real contest or just warm-up? Just a warm-up, so I would have time to explain stuff. So this will be medium hard problem. And I and done. Let's create a directory for Codeforces, or for string number 4, right? I think this is 4. Where are my templates? They are here. This was code from Google Hashcode stream, which happened yesterday or 2 days ago. Yeah, 2 days ago now. There will be Hashcode qualification round in 3 days on Thursday evening. I will participate. Okay, let's think. There is some permutation. 4 to 1, 5 to 1, 4, 6, 3. I want to get 1 together is easy. 2 together is easy because it's just this interval. 3 together, I need to, well, the interval, not just the interval matters. I need to get numbers 1, 2, 3 in one place and in this order, 1, 2, 3. Here I guess it would be optimal to swap 1 and 2 and then move 3 to the left. In general, if those numbers are in some randomish places, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then 6. Where should they go? Well, 6 will move to the left. I guess they will meet at their median. So 2 will be swapped with this thing. 3 and 6, they will come here. And now it doesn't matter anymore. But let's say 4, 3, 6 will move to the left. I can add integers. I can consider integers in order 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Every time I insert new index to some kind of set, I will need a median of their positions. like here, and I will say everybody goes towards this one, plus, so that I need the sum of distances, or something like that, to this position, plus the next extra thing will be inversions between them, because now I need to sort those, and the number of moves needed is the number of inversions. How do you think the score estimated in hash code? You just submit outputs. Your solution doesn't matter. So the statement defines score. This is Codeforces 609, division 1C, integers. Read the input. Let's say decrease everything by 1. Do I want that? It's easier in programming to deal with values from 0 to something, because this is how arrays and indices work. On the other hand, then, when you type some input, it will be changed by your program if you subtract 1 from everything, so it's harder to debug. There's that trade-off. So now values from 0 to n-1, where of in stupid internet. I need to figure this out. My in the middle. Was it? Is stream broken into 2 parts already? No, on YouTube. On YouTube, it's cool. It was just frozen for some time, I guess. But on Twitch, I will write in my to-do to figure out if possible. I think on Twitch there is something like that. To do, figure out some screen or technical difficulties. Screen time for a moment, because that's annoying, especially on YouTube, where then the video is broken into 2 parts. This is what happened on Thursday. It was something on my part. In OBS, I saw that the streaming stopped. There was connection error, even though websites worked. Unrelated thing. Let's turn dark mode in Genie. Where was it? View. Genie Linux dark mode. Did I use Monokai on Windows? Because on Windows I switched to something else. Linux, where is Genie installed? I will just quickly find the directory where Genie is, and I need to put that configuration file there. Genie to put configuration. Color schemes. Oh. Okay, and I need to move something from downloads. What was the file name? Not here. Oh, I didn't create it. Yep. Put it here. Now I hope it will be available after restart of Genie. I hope it's better. Okay, in this order, add values. I will need a smarter structure for that, but let's say it's right now positions. For every value int where. So position is where of this value. I have this, and for number 1 I need its position, then number 2, number 3, and so on. And brute force would be this: positions, pushback, pause, sort positions, begin, positions, end. That in a moment will be ordered set. And if the if the median is here on, let's say, index I, then or let's say this is M, like median, then from the next number I want its position minus m plus 1, because it wants to get here to m plus 1, this is m plus 2, and so on. IM is positions size over 2. For everything to the right, plus equal positions of I minus positions IM plus I minus IM. This is where a number should go. For example, this 3 should go here. 2 places on the right from this one. The same on the left. That would bring all numbers together, but I also need them in some order. Pop, and for example, I can do it this way. They are sorted. if in of positions I greater than in of positions of j, answer plus plus. This is quadratic way to count inversions there. Print answer. It can be long. Hello Xinroi, hello Sharingan user. In and into. I need spaces. Print, yep, I'm using print. This is correct for sample tests, but let's create one more where things are not connected, like 1, 2, 4, 3. Zero, zero, 1, 1. Yes, for 1 to 3 I need to move this one to the left. Let's even make it more interesting, like this. For 1, 2 I need 1, for 1 to 3 I need 1, because 1 will move to the right. Okay, I think it's fine so far. This will be brute force. So later, if I need, I can compare my main solution with this one. But here, let's start making this faster. First thing would be maybe to count inversions faster. When I already had, let's say I already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I'm adding 6. That's a bad example. But if I already had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now I'm adding 5, so I had up to 4. I need to say what was the number of smaller numbers already added, and they are on the right. Ordered set will do that job for me. I just need to... Alright. Yes, it will. Ordered set. It's very complicated how to create one. But it has functions find by order and order of key. Why isn't it this one line? This ordered set is more powerful, but does slower set. Do I need this or don't? I need this. Who is Algo? Algo is short of algorithms, if that's your question. Didn't compile. Are you that guy from Clement's video? Yes, I am that guy. Why is it so hard in this blog to find what I really need? Oh, using namespace was also there. Assets container, tree policy. Try policy he has. Oh, I missed typedef. No, there is typedef. Okay, maybe first. Does this compile on my machine? Try cpp dot f8 and int. Yes. Then let's copy all of this. The order shouldn't matter, but I messed something up when copying before. This is order set, not ordered set. That was a mistake. Order set of, do I need to say int? Where do I create one? I shouldn't. Yeah. What problem are you solving now? Link is in the description. Is this the same? Oh no, here I have pairs. Okay. It compiled so far. I insert, I don't need to sort. Now there will be find by order instead of this. Positions, find by order of I. I just didn't use ordered set for a long time. What was here? Okay, this is fine. This is why I spent some time for that. Positions find by order and a star, because this one returns iterator. In positions of I. So let's finish it this way first. It's still slow, but now it will be very easy to speed up. Throw on in 2, in 3. Everything correct. Instead of counting inversions each time from scratch, I will here say inversions is 0. And when I add a new number, if the set already contained, it was positions. So if positions were already 4, 8, 10, 12, and now I'm adding position 11, I want to say that it creates an inversion with this one. So the order of key, I need positions, order of key position, something like this. Kth largest element. The number of items in a set that are strictly smaller than our item. So size minus this will be number of numbers strictly greater. This is exactly what I need. Versions plus equal this. Then insert. Then I don't need to count inversions separately. This will not work because I'm not adding inversions. Answer plus inversions. So far so good. And after the stream broke, I think that now I don't see YouTube chat. That's too long strike of just Twitch chat. I need to restart that in some way. Dashboard. Stupid internet. Turn off and on. Okay, somebody in YouTube chat, please try typing something now. We forgot to put link on YouTube description. It's just harder to do on YouTube description, but I guess possible too. Maybe not that hard. I'm now solving Codeforces, this, division 1C, save. Yep. But I still don't see YouTube chat. YouTube chat. Toggle off, on. Sorry about the technical difficulties. The remaining thing is to add that distance. I need for that the sum of distances of some elements. A segment tree. Segment tree will do a job. This segment tree should allow me to take sum in interval, sum of positions. Yeah, the Restream chat works now for me. I see YouTube comments. Can we use trip instead? There are a lot of structures we can use, including a segment tree. Segment tree is able, like for values from 1 to n, segment tree is able to insert a new value and say which one it is, just by summing ones from the left. But after so after so much time of not using ordered set, I wanted to remember how to do it. And once you have that, it's more convenient to use because it's just there. It allows you to have some operations. You don't need to implement anything yourself. Just for me, it was hard to copy paste that because I had some other compilation errors as well. What was I doing? Yeah, segment tree of positions. When I add a new position to here, also add it to a segment tree. Tree of B plus position is position. This is iterative segment tree. You can just do this. This way I add value pause at some at a path to the root of a segment tree. And this is the sum of things on the right from something. So there's positions of IM. This is position of the median, like here position of that guy, and I want the sum of positions on the right. Answer is get sum from positions IM plus 1 to n minus 1. And that would replace this thing. No, this would replace this. If L greater than R returns 0, type long, tree of plus equal base, R plus equal base. I will not explain this part, it's just a standard segment tree. What's wrong? Positions of IM. All right. I want. Nope. First of all, this thing is single. Here I iterate. So I need this. This is IMth element. They replaced this part. Correct on those tests, but does it matter in any test? I think it's always 0. No, the sum of positions is not 0. Fine. Then let's replace this part. Notice how I have a slow solution and then modify it by part by part. Again, the YouTube chat stopped working. I wonder if this can be issue on my part or just Restream chat doesn't work well today. Is everything okay with YouTube chat? You should always use vector in C++. Vectors are a modern tool. You should often use them. I will pop this out. And have it on the side as well. Just because something is wrong with Restream chat today, I think. So now I'm having two chats on the side, and I should be able to see everything. Yeah, what was I saying? Notice how I have a slow solution. I know that it works, and then I change part by part. This way I will always know if I make a mistake, I know, oh, here, I just modified this one, it stopped working, so the mistake is here. I now need sum of indices of things on the left. Position of IM is this. This will be position of IM. Position of IM. Works. This is position of IM. Position of IM, but you can now notice that this thing is almost independent on I. This will be just sum of arithmetic progression. Do you prefer iterative approach over recursive? Yes, I do. I first learned segment trees iteratively, so this is now how by default I implement that. But recursion is needed for lazy propagation. In this arithmetic progression, the first element is wait. Position IM plus I minus IM. This will be just sum from 1, right? I is first IM plus 1. Something is wrong here. No, it isn't. This is position IM plus 1. Then position IM plus 2 and so on. Because those were positions of where numbers should be. If median is here, then 4 should get 1 to the right of that, 2 to the right, and so on. So this will be so minus equal. First is pos IM plus 1. Last is pos IM plus solution size minus IM minus 1. Right, this minus 1 minus IM. Yep. First plus last times last minus first plus 1 divided by 2. If you want to do some competitive programming, you for sure need to know formulas like the sum of arithmetic series. And the last step is this. First is pos IM minus 1. Last pos IM minus For 0 it's just IM. Yep. And I messed up. In this last step I messed up because the values are bad. This version was fine. And imagine implementing everything immediately like in fast version, and then you have no idea where is that wrong part. Here I know it's exactly there. Minus IM minus I. First it's 1. For 0 it's Is it possible that this will be 0? Last minus first. What if first is 1 bigger? Then it will be 0. Do such live for ARC. I didn't know that they're at Coder regular contests still. They are, then I will make something. In the first formula plus instead of minus. But here we have minus. Let's think. For I equal to this will be 1, so it's pos I am minus 1. Oh, first is greater than last. This was decreasing series, not increasing. So that wasn't the length of that. Now I believe everything is fast enough. Let's quickly test that. If I say in of I is just I, I plus 1, because then I subtract. Now echo this to pro. No. Now I can easily measure time. For 100,000 it is 80 milliseconds, and what are the limits? 200,000, so easy. 150 milliseconds. I just changed, instead of reading values one by one, I said that the ith value is I, and then I can quickly test the speed. So many zeros, well done, thank you. Yeah, no, for that test the answer is trivial, but still all the parts are run. Accepted. What are you coding? There is description below the video. Now I will move to the next problem, unless it looks very ugly. How many problems have you solved before you became red? 1,000? 2,000? After this question, please solve one question implementing on Dijkstra, Algo, and explain. This stream I will solve Codeforces problems of around medium hard difficulty. Maybe next week I will make a stream just solving suggested problems. So now from that problem C, I'm moving to the next one, D. I will first read it to see if it's nice. Plus, let's close the tabs. Also, if chat you have some questions, there are frequently asked questions in the description. There is link. Read that. For example, do you ever solve project Euler problems? There is answer for that. There's complete directed graph. Can pick vertex and reverse direction of all edges touching this vertex. Make the tournament strongly connected. I don't think I like this problem, because I need a lot of drawings, and on Linux I don't have good software for that. My drawing tablet doesn't work on Linux. But if we look at the first test, what we have from 1 to 2, from 2 to 3, from 3 to 1, so it's already there. Yeah. In general, we have a full graph on, let's say, 5 vertices. For every pair of vertices, there is an edge in some direction. So maybe it's this direction here, this one, and so on. Every edge has some direction. I don't want to draw everything. And in one move, you can choose a vertex and say, I flip the direction of all the edges. Like if it was like this, then those two were in, this one also in, this one out of this vertex, then now it changes into new red state. This one is now in, out, out, out. And we need to make a graph strongly connected. But I don't like graphs, and I don't want on Linux to make a lot of drawings. So I guess I will skip on this one. Write a program which predicts the future, or what makes free sandwich. I don't understand humor of some people. I will think for a moment about this. This is problem D from the same contest. But likely I will pass. Sandwiches are rare. So a sandwich. What happens at the beginning? There are some strongly connected components, like this one, this one. And there are edges between everything, so there must be order between them. In particular, it must be a sequence of stuff like this. Then also there must be edges this direction. There cannot be there will be every pair of vertices connected with an edge. There cannot be this situation, because then this would be one strongly connected component. So it must be like that. Now we need to fix it perfectly. Just in particular, we could just make this one edge. This stream will be shorter than usual. Last 2 weeks, I tried streams of length around 5 hours. Usually I went for 5-6 hours. This week I'm trying shorter format to see how it goes. Around 2 hours, 2.5. Smallest number of operations here. I hope that the first number in the output, smallest number of operations I need to do, is small. Otherwise, the problem seems very hard. If it is small, then like a 2. If always it's enough to flip the state of 2 vertices, then I can just iterate over those 2 vertices and do something fast, maybe. How can I find this problem? Retype a link, or Google Codeforces invertation in tournament, or in the description you have link to the previous problem in the same contest, problem C. Just then change last letter in the link or whatever. But maybe I will switch to something else in a moment. I see someone behind you. You know, I also see a camera and what you see on the stream. So let's say there is here some vertex A. And right now it's like this, but I want to invert. What can issues be? There is this remaining part of the same strongly connected component. Still, all of them, they have edges like that. So still we can get there. From A now, it will be possible to get anywhere. In particular here. And there. So from A I can get to this thing, from this thing I can get to there. From A I can get here. Now from here can I get to A? Maybe not. What if earlier? I wonder when it isn't enough to just flip the state of this single vertex A. Maybe in this gray part, everything so far it pointed to A. That's impossible, because then it wouldn't be a strongly connected component. There must be edge in one direction and the other. Is it possible that in the gray part this is not connected with each other? I believe not. My guess is that the situation is, but actually I need to analyze this test. I need to draw it. There are 6 vertices. From 1 there is edge to 2. From 2 to 3, 3 to 1, from 4 to 1, 2, 3, 6, from 5 to everything but 6. And from 6 to everything but 4. For every pair of vertices, if there is edge from A to B, if there is not such edge, then there will be edge from B to A. Here we clearly see that 1 to 3 is a cycle, let's say on the right. From 1 to 2, so their edges. Oh yeah, every pair of vertices is connected here. Then 4 to 5, right? No, 4 to 6, 6 to 5, 5 to 4. 4, 5, 6 is also connected. And there are also all edges like, let's say, gray, like this, everything. I just learned how to draw numbers and arrows in Paint application. Congratulations! When I flip anything, like a number 2, new state will be this, that, from 2 to anything there. Why is it connected? From 2 I can get like this to 1 and 3. From 3 I can get to 1, but 1 is now bad vertex. Good morning, Samarv Gupta in the chat. Yeah, I don't like this problem. It's analyzing what happens, a lot of drawings. On a piece of paper it would be easier. From curiosity I will take a look at the editorial, but I'm not keen to solve this problem. Oh, for n greater than 6 it is always possible to invert one vertex. So apparently this is impossible. I should have analyzed this longer, and I would see that this is only possible for some small cases. If there is big strongly connected component with at least 4 vertices, invert good vertex in it. If there are at least 3. I can implement that. Did you say you will do problem from chat on Thursday? Not. I said that I will do such a stream, but on Thursday there will be boring stream. I will do my own stuff, like planning videos. Why this early? It's convenient to me, then I will start a day immediately and not waste time. I will add this link because I'm going to implement this. I will add that to the description. And then next problem D. And then problem D. I don't want to every time. So YouTube, you can go to Twitch for a link. But also the link differs only in the last letter. Okay, we have this. Let's move pro.cpp to c.cpp. No, it will be d.cpp. If n is small, then I need to brute force it. Otherwise, just iterate over a single vertex. So let's start by iterating over that single vertex. Well, maybe I need to first think how to check if graph is strongly connected with bit sets. The tutorial said it is possible to make that just from sequence of degrees, but let's start with bit set solution. It isn't strongly connected. Let's say vertices are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If from maybe 1 to 4 there are edges to 3, 5, 6 and no edge back, I can sort things by the sequence of degrees, output degrees, can't I? Yeah, and then if some prefix of this sequence of sorted degrees, there are edges only to that thing, then it's bad. I'm not sure how to do it. There's standard, or maybe I should just look at standard implementation of checking strongly connected components, and then modify that algorithm. Degree of each vertex in the rightest that is smaller than degrees of all other vertices. Sort in the sorted. So in the sorted by degree order, you can check for the prefix of length k. Oh, the number of edges outgoing from them. Nice. Okay, so I was on the right path. And then we don't need bit sets, we just need a sequence of degrees. I can sort that, but numbers from 1 to n you can sort in linear time. Show add, please. Do you want me to open any add or what? (2005). Let's call this in, like input or input grid. Or I can just read a single line. Edge of I j is equal, line of j is 1. For big N, iterate over everything. Well, first, maybe this is already strongly connected. I need to check that. is strongly connected. Just let's make, well, that should have been global. Compute the sequence of degrees. I need to have sequence of degrees. But then it's easier to operate with vector. Why am I making this to be such a mess? Okay, I will implement this function first and then think what I need globally for that. Sort. Let's say this will be a vector apparently. Sort. Now I wonder if there is such a prefix that it satisfies something. Right, there will be what should it satisfy? The number of edges outgoing from them, sum of degrees. Okay, there should be everything in that prefix plus outgoing edges. It should be non-empty. Now I wonder if sum is equal to edges between them. This is number of edges between inside this prefix plus size of this prefix times size of the suffix. All of that should be long longs. If this is equal, return false. I found a split. Oh, now Restream chat is back working. Strange. Because now I see YouTube messages both in Restream and in that popped out chat for YouTube. Okay, then I figured that this should be vector. Then it will be convenient. Why long long? Oh, good question. This is only up to 2000. So, and son, you are right that long long wasn't necessary. If line of j is 1. If strong is strongly connected, print 0 changes needed. There is one way for that. Finish. For everything, for vertex A, consider modifying it. For every B, if A is not B, there was edge of AB and now I want to flip it. If there was an edge, then decrease the degree of A and increase degree of B. Else the other way around. If is strongly connected, now ways plus plus, and now I need to revert it back. If there is at least one way, say one change is needed, and print ways. Now if n is big, let's say bigger than 10, print 0, minus 1. And here brute force multiple ways. Well, I mean multiple vertices, because n is small. Memo is out degree. Out degree is memo. Segmentation fault, because I don't resize out degree. Zero one 0 1 0 1. It shouldn't be this way. So this always returns true. This is my debugging function. What? Why? I don't have proper flags. I need this. It isn't important what I've just done. Does this match 1 1 1 1 1 3? Yes, I think it's correct. And for each of them they detected it's enough. Is this formula right? For I equal to 0, this will be 0. For I equal to 1, it will be 1 times 2 divided by 2, 1. Correct. Plus size of the prefix, there is something wrong here, minus 1. If I is 0, then this is 1 times n minus I. It should be 1 times n minus 1. This is size of the prefix. Still the same. If this is inequality, then return false. But it wasn't find for anything. Always we return true. Second test. In second test, I should detect that. In second test, 1 1 3, when we are here, the number of edges between them should be 3. We should sort decreasingly. To say all the edges out there, if we sort like that, can't I just say this? There are only edges here. But then I don't know what edges are there. If I sort decreasingly, Then the only way to pack those edges is to put everything between me and to the other part. Now I want to brute force multiple vertices. I wonder how many I need. Genie, Linux, Mac. Yes, this is Genie and this is Linux. And there are frequently asked questions link in the description. There is. I hope that 3 vertices are enough. Maybe 4A, 4B, 4C, and try to flip them. But let's make it nicer. Iterate over all possibilities. Mask will represent vertices that we change. Let's say this is int max 0. If answer first is int max, print -1, else print that. But for sure now n is smaller than 10. The editorial said that for bigger than 6 it can be proved that the answer will be 1. Here, remember out degree. Out degree is... Actually, I don't need out degree. I will remember edges. And edge is memo. Maybe this would be easier with recursive function. For every A, if mask and this, if I'm flipping this vertex, for every B, if A not B, edge of AB is not edge of AB. And edge of BA is not edge of BA. Out degree is just empty thing. If is strongly connected, then consider this to be the answer. Change the number of changed things is pop count of mask. If changed is smaller than answer first, this is best so far, then answer is changed, and there is one way for that. Else if changed is equal that. This is another way to get exactly the same number of changed vertices. What's wrong? I didn't close brackets. I don't need modulo because I only increase by 1 and my number of operations will not exceed 2 to n. The semicolon, oh here. 2.9, they said 2.18. It's suspicious that it's twice that. Zero, one. can you explain that? I'm doing Codeforces problems today. There are 18 ways. How can be 18 ways? Six. If there are 6 vertices, the number of ways to choose 2 vertices, it is 6 times 5 over 2, so 15. How can this be 18? How can this be greater than, wait, 6 times 5 over 2, 15. This is number of ways to choose 2 vertices out of 6. Unless they mean the order of operations matters. 2 ways are different if for some vertex I that we chose on the if operation in one way is different from vertex that we chose. Okay. The order matters. So answer will be up to n factorial. Factorial is pre-computed. No, don't increase by 1, increase by the number of changed things because you can reorder them. 17. Oh, factorial changed. Should work now. One last thing. I will, right now I have n square log n. Iterate over n things, and here this is n square plus this n times is strongly connected, and this is n log n. So n times n log n, but I can improve this sort. It isn't necessary, for sure this is already fast enough, but I can do that. I can make count sort or bucket sort. For everything, I don't even need TMP for that. For every value in out degree, increase its count by 1. Now for everything in count, from n to 0, because I know this is range of values, n minus 1 would already be enough. For convenience, maybe let's make this, but can be avoided. I can just use x here. For repeat, count of x times, TMP pushback x, because I know how many times x appears. This is linear sort of values between 1 and n. I'm taking a look to see how quickly people solve those problems. For C, it was quite easy. I would solve it during a contest in, I guess, 20 minutes or around that, up to 30. I immediately knew what to do, but I didn't remember how to use ordered set. There was a lot of hacks. What problem? Can I see that? Accepted. Successfully. In A, there was a lot of hacks in A. Now, Happy Cactus is already an ugly name. I'm quite sure I will not do it. You're given a cactus, a more complicated tree. A path is increasing if the weights are increasing. Pair happy if there exists an increasing path. Find the number of other vertices v such that pair uv is happy. And people solve this problem. Only two of them, Tourist and Radeusz. Radeusz solved it in half an hour. That's a nice result if almost nobody else did that. I guess that problem would be solvable easily on a tree. If weights, where there are weights? Oh, the weight of ith edge is I. Are you participating in Codeforces today? Maybe. Where's 7 hours? It will be my 4:30. Then yes. I think I will finally participate. I didn't participate for a long time. My last round is 604, 15 rounds ago. I need to get Nutella again. My blogs would be read by more people then. On the tree, the problem would look like this. There is a tree. Every edge has some weight. And so on. Now a pair of vertices is good if the path between them has increasing weights. So this is good. This is also good. This one is also good. But this one is not. 315 is not sorted. But in this problem we have more complicated kind of tree, a cactus, where what they defined it as, each edge lies on at most one simple cycle. So this is, but how is simple cycle defined? Can this be repeated? I don't know. Some kind of cactus is like this. This is tree where you would replace possibly every vertex with a cycle. And now you're looking for pairs of vertices such that there exists a path, but there can be now multiple paths. You can go between two vertices, for example, this way, but also one other path would be this one. Or like this. And I'm sure this will be very, very ugly to implement. Awesome, please make screencast if possible. Yeah, I guess I will record myself, why not? I will not do any commentary. Again, I'm not going to solve it. I don't like problems on cactuses. We'll take a look to see if there is something smart there. No, we can solve a problem in linear complexity. That's nice. For 3, it shouldn't be too hard. Let's look at edges in order of decreasing weight. dp is number of answer for vertex v. Okay, they say that we can redefine the statement to say there is some infection. Initially, if rat is infected by if type of infection. Then every edge means we make union of those two types. I solved a similar problem recently. There was, in Tourists at Coder contest, there was one about some order of edges in a graph. Well, the statement was about wires, but it turned out that we treat them as edges in a graph, and in some order we do union. Not union, we just do DFS, but only this order is allowed. Maybe I should try to understand this because it looks not that bad. Are codes short? Not that bad. I guess that this is pre-written code. What are they claiming? They say in reversed order. So first, let's say 8. We say those two rats, we make union out of them. Then there will be 7, we make union of those. There will be 4, we make union of this. Number of infections of if vertex in the end is equal to the required value. Makes sense, because later those two will infect each other. So this one, it got values, like infections from those. But now there is cactus. We can think about it the same way. And what are differences? Thank you, Enson, for helping me in the chat. It's funny that the question is so similar to what exactly I have in FAQ. When if edge connects different connected components, fi is just equal to the sum, but there can be intersection of infections. When if edge connects same connected components, if I is equal to the sum of number of infections, I guess they claim this. If we're on the same cycle and those two, we now consider this edge. When ith edge connects same connected components, I hope they mean same cycle. Or well, this means that those two are already connected. Then what happens? Maybe those two already have an intersection. Like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Then if this is here 14, then those two already beaten each other. So when this blue byte happen, some number of infections was there in common. Now for those two, fi is equal to the number of infections of ai after the moment when you meet this edge. What is x? The sum of number of infections. Okay, let's say this is vertex A, B. They claim that f of 14, the number of infections after 14 is used, is equal to x, where x is f of a plus f of b. Now fa and fb is something unrelated to f14. This is number of infections in a vertex, not in this edge. While this is number of infections a and b will have after this edge is used. This is the same set of infections. Minus fe f10. Oh, we process things in decreasing order. So I wonder what happens when this is 1. This is 1. Hi from Russia. Hello, Russia. Now they claim if we use AB now, then 2 already has infections that were passed here. Because all of those, they moved like that. And nothing more is in common between A and B. Because if there is something here, only A got those infections. If there is something here, only A got those infections. If there is something A got those infections only if they passed through blue edge. hence this formula. I need to know if on this cycle things are in decreasing order. How to detect that? How to do anything for cacti? I think cacti is plural of cactus. 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5. This is just a tree. Samples aren't very strong. I'm now thinking about implementation. For some people it would be obvious now. For me it isn't, because I'm bad at graphs. When I'm given a cactus, can I find spanning tree, and then every extra edge will be the end of a cycle, but how to detect a cycle? And there will be a tree, and this will be some extra edge. I have tree on the left. In a tree, can I, for extra edge, can I quickly say if this is sorted? In some order it will be like here 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Because if yes, then I need to do something special for this edge. Check your phone, Google is calling you. You mean for a job or what? For 10. Brand's cycle detection algorithm, maybe. It's not that I need to find if there is a cycle. I used to know how to do anything on cactus. There are some standard problems, like find the shortest path between two vertices. Then it's just, cactus is just more complicated tree, but I think for past at least 2 years I didn't solve any cactus problem. I'm thinking about this thing on the left. If I have a tree, this will be a spanning tree of the input, and an extra edge. I need to detect if, together with this edge, that part, a path, is sorted in some order. This, in general, it will be some path in a tree. I'm adding an edge, and each of those two parts, left and right, it will be sorted already, or something like this is possible. 8, 10, 1, 2, 3, 5, and so on. 6, 7. This is allowed. For a path, I can say if it's monotonic. With jump pointers, I can say if a vertical path is monotonic, or maybe it's this way. Then looking from this point, I can find the first value greater than this, or the first moment when I have something bad. I can run single DFS from the root, and when I'm at this vertex, I can say how far I can reach. So it would be this like double monotonic thing. Does editorial say anything about the way to implement this? They aren't saying that. They're saying it's possible linearly. I think this will be the last problem I'm solving. We're close to 2 hours, so I will implement this and finish the stream. Adding link, not here. And then problem E. I'm pasting it here as well. Maybe make the smallest edge on the cycle to be the extra one. Yes, that would help. I can compute spanning trees while... So thank you, Anson, again. If I create spanning tree in this order, like in the input, so sorted by weights, then this will be smallest, a 1. Then if this is 1, the only possibility is that, well, maybe left, right, or maybe right, left. It will be 2, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10, and so on. It will be just in a tree, is this path monotonic? Maybe even I don't need LCA for that, I wonder. Can you solve at coder problem that today I'm solving Codeforces problems, and this is the last one I'm solving. I already see how to solve a problem in Algo. For every such path, I will ask about LCA. Lowest common ancestor is here, and I will check if those two paths are both monotonic, and we'll compare values of first edge on those paths. But can I do better? I don't think I can do better than this. I don't see how. I will think for 3 more minutes and then just move to implementing LCA version. Also, the whole problem is nice. I'm surprised by how non-evil the implementation will be. Even with my LCA, without coming up with linear version. I think linear version will only be easier. In LCA, I will have some difficulties. Maybe some of my friends are online and they remember a problem. I just need a link to a problem. I'm talking with Radeusz. Maybe he will give me some advice. It's possible to do LCA in constant time. Yes, but still all the implementation issues will be there. When doing single DFS from the root, I also see how to maintain a path to a vertex and then ask if some suffix of that path is sorted. That is easy. I don't need any logarithm there, but maybe it can be done easier. If cycle is not sorted, you can anyway move some part of it and move somewhere else. I think I know that. I think Radeusz has a different solution. So I think he will not help me here. I mean, he will not give me any advice how to. I think I've just now realized that the sum of all cycles sizes is linear. So I can do that path linearly and done. His advice was to gather every cycle, and now it's vector of weights, do something with that. But yeah, I forgot that I can do here queries about those paths linearly, because the sum of them will be linear. Let's think what I'm doing. There was, let's say, 10, 9, 5, 4, 2. Now there is 1. I wonder if I even need a spanning tree. I will create a spanning tree. And then get back linearly to that, check if it's done. I think I'm ready to implement the whole problem. Copy this. The previous problem was D, not C. Hello Errichto, hello Retweak. Happy cactus. Can I create a spanning tree as I just go through the input? When I see two things not connected yet, I will say that one is parent of the other. Doesn't matter too much. Then when I connect two things that are connected, I think I will go through the input twice. When I have A, B, I would say if not connected, then say parent of A is B. If connected, then I need to find their LCA. But I don't know depths. Are you going to solve any Codeforces Division 2 contest in this live stream? No. This will be my last problem. This is Division 1E. So nothing easy today, sorry about that. If connected, then how to move up if I don't know depths? Maybe some kind of DSU allows that. I don't even remember what ranked meant. I can move simultaneously to parents. That would be Interesting, I've never done that before. When I have two vertices in a tree, I don't know which one is higher, because I don't know their depths. I can still find LCA by moving up by one here, by one there. That will be an interesting hack. And eventually, I will go to something, I will figure out, oh, here I get vertex 7, and 7 was also here. Then I found LCA. And I will say this and that, they are two parts. Together this part L, R, left and right, and this is the whole cycle. Interesting. So maybe I don't need to remember the input. Maybe. But I need to reverse it, right? Because here things are increasing. This is symmetric. I think I can just do this. Read this. Now, well, my DSU is logarithm anyway. Can DSU be done faster than logarithm? DSU has some log star anyway, but this is something special, it's a cactus. I could do a DFS. I can read the whole graph, run DFS, prioritizing big edges, because this will be the order in adjacency list, and then I would find that spanning tree. So let's do that. Do I need ID? Maybe I do. Numbering will now be from 0 to n-1. Max n is 500,000. Run DFS from vertex 0, prioritizing whatever. Just I'll figure this out later. This, yeah. DFS of int a. There will be array parent. For everything in edges, and every edge is per vertex and ID of an edge. If B is id at first, B is parent of A, then continue. I don't want this one. If assert not visited yet, visited is true. If not visited, then we have a new vertex. Parent of B is A, DFS of B. Otherwise, we have an extra edge. We found a cycle. We'll do something with that, and done. I wonder if I should do something here or after the whole DFS. I will say cycles pushback. Information that there is cycle with edge between B and I, and E dot second is ID of their edge. So cycles have information about two things connected with an edge and ID of that edge between them. I also want depths because this will be helpful. For everything in cycles, there is A. Actually, I already know depths of A and B, so I can just do that here as well. For A and B, I know parents. I know their depths. If is sorted. Let's create find path of A and B. Assuming that A and B are already visited. I will go from A to B up till they meet. Well, A not B. If depth of A greater than depth of B. There are first two parts, left and right. Parent should be a pair with vertex and ID of an edge. If this, then left pushback parent of A dot second ID. A is parent of A dot first, a vertex. I move with A and B up, they meet in LCA. Reverse right. And append it to left. Now this is left and right reversed. Parent of A first. The whole path, and I am the smallest or biggest? I don't know that at all, but I can as well just say path pushback. This ID. Actually, this ID is not necessarily smallest, but I see a cycle. So I finally found a way to find cycles in cactus. Now I wonder if this cycled path, so after this pushback, this is not a path anymore, it's a cycle. Maybe I should rename that to cycle. If this is something like 5, 8, 9, 1, 2, 1, 3, 4, and then I should say, hey, there is something here. S is cycle size for everything. If last big is -1. If cycle of I is greater than cycle of I plus 1, last big is I. But if last big is already something else, okay, big is -2 and break. Last big -2 means there were two smaller than, oh, this can be reversed as well. This can be 4, 3, 1, 9, 8, 5. I don't like this. That should have size at least 3. So I will repeat this. Last big is -1. It means all decreasing function sequence. I didn't find such a place that it's decreasing. Oh, this was my first try. I'm looking for such a thing, so this is all increasing. And before I finish this, let's think what I will do after DFS. I iterate, let's remember that. This is order of size M. Order of I is this. So I remember edges. In every vertex, initially, the number of infections is 1. At the end, the answer will be sum of all values. If not special of ID, then just say together is sum of A is order of ID first, B is order of ID second. Two vertices connected with this edge. Sum of A plus sum of B. Sum of A is sum of B is together. I could do this in one line, whatever. Otherwise, I need to subtract, so actually I will do it anyway. If is special of ID, they're minus equal, and here there's that edge. I'm going for things in increasing order. For big element, for biggest edge of a cycle, I should subtract the thing from smallest one. Memo off, and here that small edge. memo of smallest of ID. And the answer is the number of infections for each vertex. Yeah, it's the sum of those. It will be number of paths that go towards this vertex. Memo of smallest of ID. Yep, I am solving this problem, and link to it is in the description and posted in the chat by Ensom. I could have here some text. But I just didn't remember at the beginning of the stream to create that text. Also in the future it should be in different color. Color 1, select color, white. It should be something like this, but of course with different information. Like what? Codeforces 309, division 1, E. Yeah, but I would need to figure out how to put constant width there. The answer has an element, what? Oh, okay. From U to V. So I need to go in decreasing order. That's... Okay. Anyway, I will print those values. But here I go increasingly. And I should do it decreasingly. Can't I just here say this? This way I'm reversing the input. DFS order of edges doesn't matter. I think I'm good now. For debugging it will be more complicated. I reversed the order of edges. For big, I will subtract something small. While increasing, in this case, is special of cycle back is true. Smallest cycle back. For biggest element of that cycle, remember the smallest element. Instead of this, let's remove is special and initially put values -1 here. And this will be if smallest ID is not -1. Else, if last big is not -2, then I have this situation. So smallest of last big is smallest of cycle. last big is cycle of last big plus 1. Because last big is position. Yes, it is. That was in this case, but I also need to handle something like this. I can multiply everything by -1, and then it will be the same, I believe. -4, -3, 1, -9. Yes, I will repeat this twice. At the end, for every value in cycle, multiply by -1. Then comparing will work differently, and absolute value. Absolute value. Okay, what about this? If this is I plus 1 modulo s, no, always do this, if not -2. May be done. That's not correct, but I think I should print values decreased by 1, because I don't count path from vertex to itself. Now, if I don't do this, will it... I wonder if the answer will change. Yes, it does. If answer would be the same, then I would need to create my own test where I distinguish. I'm saying 30% that this will get accepted. No, now it's 60. While we wait, there is this thing, and when you pledge something, oh, random error. When you pledge something, you get in particular a badge, but I think those badges are ugly. Like here, I'm not sure if I want this on the next from my nickname. So previously, it was of this format. But now, I don't know. Okay. Random error. Out of bounds. Let's see where I get out of bounds error. Smallest. Smallest should be of size M. During a contest, I wouldn't get this information. I would spend more time. But that's not the point of this stream. Now what? After I saw a mistake here, got random error, I corrected it. The chances should increase or decrease. I estimated it as 60% before that. Let's say that was good estimate at that moment. And now what if I get information? There is runtime error. I'm correcting that. I think that this is enough. Does it mean I'm closer to accept it or further away because my thinking about the problem was bad? If something is so slow, then it usually means not accepted. So on likely Codeforces tries to rerun on this test or like runs slower to get this diagnostic hint. So on test 20, something was bad. Anything new on Codeforces? Where to look for motivation for CP? This blog says, I don't feel motivated to practice. Wrong answer on test 20. I don't feel motivated to practice, but I don't want to leave competitive programming. What's your motivation to find motivation? Motivation isn't something you look for. Interesting. Well, you can think about your goals. I can even answer that. If you enjoy CP, you don't need motivation. If you have some goal, like becoming better, smarter, getting some rating, that's your motivation. Otherwise, what's the point? No copy. Did I do something completely wrong? What now? What can I do? I can take somebody's code, create random generator, take seed from arguments, this function returns a random integer between a and b. Let r be between 2 and, I don't know, 5. M will, for a moment, will just be n minus 1. This will be a 3. This should create random trees. Later, if needed, I will make my generator more complicated. Int diff int give some int. I need to diff with what, minus b? Or minus white? Man diff. Ignore space change. Cool. This is not enough to find a mistake. Let's try bigger tests. Still not enough. Let's try to permute the order of edges. I'm looking for a small test where my answer would differ from correct solution. I'm not going to debug a test with 300,000 vertices. Okay, now let's also, here for every vertex from 2 to n, I add a random parent up, but this is quite limiting. Always one will be kind of parent, like the root. All the edges are increasing looking from vertex 1. I can also have a random permutation. Okay, so for trees my program works. That was an easy part. I need some edge that doesn't occur in the input. I will just add one more edge. So n is at least 3. Here, if I is n, then start from 3, otherwise from 2. What? No. Then start from 2, otherwise from 1. Then there will be no edge between 1 and n. It found a counterexample. I'm not yet sure if tests are correct, if tests are valid. I have a test. 1 connected with 2, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4, 3. This is one big cycle of length 4, isn't it? Okay. 1, 2. This is first edge. 2, 4. Second edge. 3, 1, 4, 3. The number of paths that start somewhere and go increasingly, for 1, it is this path, this one, then also 1, 3, and 1, 4. There are 5. I detected only 3. Incorrectly, of course. The same for 2. What do I do? I go through edges increasingly, but after reversing. So I go, oh, that's confusing. I go decreasingly. First this. I found some cycles, right? Let's print them. For pair, oh, maybe that's bad. Is it for sure okay that I consider an extra edge from 2 sides 0, 2, 3, 1, 0, 2, 3, 1. Tourist solution outputted 3. Wait. His solution outputted 3. Okay, first of all, the answer should be 3 because I'm not counting paths. I'm counting vertices to which I can get. So even though there are 5 paths, I need to say that from 1 I can get to those 3. Okay, thanks for noticing, chat. Zero, 2, 3, 1. Well, this is indeed not sorted, so I don't subtract anything. They say initially there is a single rat. I'm going to analyze by hand on this test solution from the tutorial, at least how I understand it. First, those 2 rats, they infect each other, so this becomes 2 and 2. Then here comes 3 and 3. This one, 3 and 3. And what happens here? I shouldn't just add those 2 things, because I'm adding them right now. This is 6. This is 6. I will look at the editorial to think what they say about it. When ifetch connects same connected components, fi is equal to the sum of number of infections, or this minus fe, where e is some edge on the path between them, only if path between ai and bi is decreasing. But this path is not decreasing. This path is not decreasing. I believe I counted number of paths. At least for a single cycle, that would be number of paths. But this is clearly a case where already from 1 and 2 I could get anywhere. I mean, 2 is connected to those, and is connected to those. For some reason, I should subtract this 2 and 2. Let's analyze some bigger example with more randomish values. 6, 1, I don't know, 4, 2, 3, 5. I start with ones everywhere. Then I use a 6, use a 5, 4, 3, and let's say with pink will be 2 last, 2, and 1. Is this correct? From 1, like from this guy, can we get to 5 vertices? We can get here and also to myself. Then I get 6. Oh, this will be number of paths that go to this one, or not? No. This 3, it represented this guy, this one, and this one. This was situation after using 5, 6, and 4. Let's look at this 6 and 5. It means that from here I have decreasing paths. When I consider edges from the biggest, then what does it count? It should count increasing paths. Okay, but from here, I made a mistake. It should be 3 here. When I combine those two, both should become 3. 3, 3. Now it's good. Let's say blue will be, this was 6 and 5, then blue 2 and 2, 3 here, 4 and 4, pink, the 2 here, it will make 4 and 4, and finally 1, 6 and 6. Indeed, you can get to all vertices. So 6 and 6 are correct. From here is 4 correct. 1 to myself, this, that. Correct. It worked for this big cycle, but did not on the left, because maybe I have a claim that the answer can be too big by 2 if I'm counting paths, right? So I will count this one, this one, this one, but also, well, to myself, this and that. So if left and right parts, this is left to biggest, some new color, and bigger width. If from smallest to biggest edge, if those two paths are increasing, then I think I will have two big values here by 2. Instead of cycle size, it will be cycle size plus 2. So I wonder if the only possible differences are by 2. I will remove break and increase this. compile it without debug. Difference by 2, difference by 2, difference by 2, by 2. Always two elements are bigger by 2. Yes. So far so good. I should make an... Oh, it's not correct here. Huh. For test 33. Those two numbers are here too big by 3, not by 2. I want to find a smaller test. But this will be a good start. 10 vertices. I don't want to draw something like that. I will do it on a piece of paper. It will be much, much faster. Then 5, 1, 5, 6, 2, 3, 8, 3, 7, 2, 4, 2, 4, 5, 4, 9, 6, 1, 7, 8, no, 7, 9, 1, this one already exists, 8, 1, 8, 9, 7, 5. This is cycle of size 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, new theorem. It can be bigger if some extra stuff is appended. For vertices 2 and 7, it's bad. And so again, it's next to smallest. But this time, okay, I think I can, using this, I can construct a smaller case where this is true. So my counter test was this thing on the left. How did I get that thing on the left? Do I still have that test? I don't. But I claim that if from 4 there is something extra here with value 5 to here vertex, some order vertex, then not only I count getting here and there unnecessarily, but also getting here and getting like that. So it's just that I should subtract memo of this edge if this is increasing and this is increasing. This is my claim. So I'm changing this, not if the path from, damn it, I've read this wrong. This is not path from A to B. This is path from it to A and from it to B. I'm stupid. So this is counted unnecessarily if this is smallest, let's say 1, then there is increasing path, to here something big like infinity, and this is also increasing path. Not that all of this is increasing. I was checking a wrong thing here. What do? I can find smallest and biggest element. Let's save this. Copy ECPP, memo ECPP. So this will be like where small is 0, where big is 0. If cycle of I is smaller than cycle of where small is I. If cycle of I is bigger than cycle of where big is I. I found positions of smallest and biggest element. Now I want to know if the path between them is good. For I is where small, I not where big, I is I plus 1 modulo S. This will go from where small to where big. It should be increasing. Is true. If not increasing, so if cycle of I is greater than cycle of I plus 1 modulo S, is false. Similarly, do the same on the other half, not necessarily half, the other part. Cycle of I is smaller than cycle of I plus 1 modulo S, this part is decreasing. If okay, smallest of cycle of where big is equal cycle of where small, I believe. That was in fact easier than this thing. But I wanted to say the editorial is incorrect, but I understood it as a path from A to B and it looked reasonable, but indeed this is not the case. What now? 80% that it's accepted? That was quick. I wonder if things got easier for me with this now. Do I have linear solution? I do, right? Yes, everything is linear. But I wanted to find cycles as I go through the input. I wonder if that would be possible, but I'm left for 3 hours now instead of my intended 2, so I will finish. See you next time on Thursday morning again. It will be a boring stream, or actually I might change the name to Chill Programming and Chill. I don't know. So I will do some more boring stuff, and then maybe next week there will be stream with suggestions from the chat. Thank you everybody for watching, especially Enson for helping me and suggesting stuff and answering to people. That was very nice of you. What else? Subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitch. See you next time. Bye bye.